I believe for every action, there should be a strong reason why you're carrying out that
That
particular
particular action.
action,
Okay.
why you are doing that particular thing. As a leader, there are things or decisions that you will make that you're making from a standpoint after weighing certain matters.
Opinions.
However, people on the other side might be seeing it was differently.
Different.
And the truth is that it doesn't make them right, it doesn't make them wrong. Criticisms are people's opinion. They are
Yes.
what people think, they are what people see. They are not things that should be stamped. Positive or constructive criticism focuses on what? Making the person better.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah.
the destructive criticism focuses on tearing or bringing that
Person
person
down.
down. Destructive criticism too has a way of motivating you
Yes.
and telling you that, see, this is not the best of me, and this is not the testimony people will have of me. So you push yourself to do better.
Welcome to Ebenezer TV Podcast, where faith meets insight. I am your host, Soke Prem Evans Wokoma, and I want to especially say a very big thank you to our amazing followers and subscribers. Thank you very much for all you've been doing for us, and stay put as we follow our latest episode. Also, we are open for advert and sponsorship. Please, if you have anything to advertise, you can contact the number on your screen. Special thank you from us to you. I want to introduce to you a great personality that will join me on discussing this particular topic. She is an academic. She is a lover of God, a lover of people. If you want to have fun, if you want to learn, please go close to her. Indeed, she is a being that loves teaching and having interactive section with people around her. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Dr. Tosan.
Hi,
You're
good
welcome.
afternoon. Thank you.
Today's topic, we are talking about handling criticism without losing yourself. Today, I believe our guest will put more insight on what we are going to discuss. Please stay put as we discuss further. Madam, please, we are talking about criticism today. I want you to give a definition of what it means and how the layman can easily understand what criticism means.
Okay, criticism is an expression of disapproval on a particular subject, or I can't say a person per se, but it is expression of disapproval on a particular matter, issue, stating one's mistake
Okay.
or fault.
Okay.
Yes.
I am very, very okay with the definition you give. But ma, we have different topics and different highlights that I am going to discuss with you here today. But first of all, since you've given the insight of what the criticism means, I want you to, how can someone understand when I am being criticized for an act I committed? How can I understand that this is criticism and this is correction?
Correction.
Yes.
Correction. When you say correction, someone is pointing out. Correction, or will I say criticism, can be a form of correction.
Okay.
Okay? So there's something they call, we all know feedback.
Yes, yes.
Feedback is, will I say, the positive side of criticism.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
So I can consider it to be the opposite of criticism. Okay? I don't know if you're following.
Yes, I am.
Since you want me to break it down. Alright. So correction, criticism can be a form of correction, but it is not always correction.
Okay. So if I believe we do more of this criticism and probably propaganda in Nigeria system, most especially our leaders. We know in politics, most persons they do more on propaganda than criticizing a particular person that this is what you are supposed to do and this is what you are not supposed to do. So how can an individual differentiate between criticizing somebody and propaganda?
When you say propaganda, can you
Now, propaganda, I think, let me just give an insight of what propaganda itself. I am trying to bring this propaganda into this particular talk because it's aligned with it. Propaganda, I just take propaganda as something that people sponsor. You understand? If you know that I am doing this particular thing and you know this phone is supposed to be, I bought this phone, but you paid somebody to say, this guy, by Intifan, he stole this phone. This is what he did, just for people to know. But looking down, I initially bought this phone with my hard-earned money. You understand? Just for you to convince some certain set of persons that I stole the phone. So it's a sponsored act. Just that is how I will see it. So that is why I'm saying, how can individual differentiate propaganda and criticism?
Okay, based on what you've explained, I really wanted to get you to understand it properly. So there is constructive criticism and there is destructive criticism.
Yes, yes.
If you can remember when I explained what criticism was, I said it was expression of disapproval for a particular subject, matter, issue, pointing out faults or mistake.
Okay.
That means it can be true and it can what? It can be false. Now, in constructive criticism, you are saying, oh, this thing you did, you're expressing a disapproval for a particular action that, oh, you made a mistake. But in constructive criticism, what you're looking at or how you present it is different from what how a destructive criticism is made.
Okay.
Now, when you mention propaganda, it's more of a destructive criticism.
Okay.
Positive or constructive criticism focuses on what? Making the person better.
Okay. Yeah.
Why the destructive criticism focuses on tearing or bringing that person down. Constructive criticism focuses or is from the place of, is said or is presented from the place of empathy.
Okay.
And now, destructive criticism is from a place of hate, disgust, certain negative emotions.
Okay.
You are not focused on the person becoming better because based on the example you gave or the picture you painted concerning propaganda, whoever pushed the propaganda wasn't considering the person becoming better. He or she was focused on bringing that person down.
Sending the wrong image to the
Yes,
public.
you're painting a wrong image. You're not considering the environment in which that feedback, I won't call it feedback, or that criticism is being passed. Because you don't care about that person's image, you don't care about the person's reputation, and your end goal is not growth. Your end goal is not development.
Okay.
Your end goal is, I don't want to use the word death. When I'm saying death, I don't mean it literally as normal death.
Yes.
But I mean
Person must go down.
Go down.
No matter what.
At any and at all costs. Okay.
All right, madam, I have this question for you. I want to ask, how do you know if criticism is useful or just negative noise?
Referring back to what I said about constructive criticism and destructive criticism. So it won't seem like repeating what I've said, but I will just highlight about three things. The first one is that a criticism or when you're being criticized and it's useful or helpful, it is focused or targeted at an issue, an action, and not the person.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an instance. You sang terribly. You didn't hit the notes well.
Okay.
You sang off key. You sang off beat. compared to me saying you are a very horrible singer.
Singer.
Full stop. The first sentence or the example I cited, you will know that I'm speaking about what an action, and that action is what you're singing, or your singing skills.
Yes.
I did not say you are a terrible or a horrible singer. But when I say you are a horrible singer, you are a horrible worker, you are a terrible writer, I'm attacking what your person.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So any criticism that will be helpful will be what? Actionable. It will be
Okay.
targeted at an action. It will seek to bring improvement. It will be balanced. The truth is that there is nothing you do in this world that someone will say there is no positive thing in that thing.
Yes.
No matter how bad it seems or it looks, there is something right that you do. But when it's noise, most times is when you are what? You're being your character. I don't know if you've heard of character assassination.
Yes.
So they want to slander you and make you what? Feel less of yourself. Then another way you will know that this criticism is not being helpful is after self-reflection.
Okay.
I don't know if you are going to get a part of self-reflection, but there are times people have told you something that at that point in time, for your sanity's sake, and for different people have different personalities,
Mm.
and based on their personality type, they might decide to refrain back and sit with that thing.
Okay.
And after sitting with it, you look at it holistically, you can say, oh, this person does not understand where I'm coming from and what I'm doing. And after self-reflection, you can know that okay, this one was useful or this one was just noise.
All
Knowing
right.
that, sorry, just one, knowing that not everyone would see from your perspective. And there are different factors that make people see things differently.
Now, madam, I have another question for you. How have you ever received criticism that change your perspective for a better?
Yes,
In what way?
I've received criticism that made me better. And to the audience, I want to say that criticism is a part of life.
Okay.
It's it's something that you must receive at one point in time or the other.
Okay.
However, when criticism becomes bad, is the way it's been presented, especially when I mention destructive criticism.
Criticism. Okay.
Constructive criticism will make you better. In various aspects of my life, I've received criticism that has made me better. In my career, in writing, I remember when I was doing my degree, my supervisor then would just strike out something and say rephrase or do something. He would add a comment,
Mm.
and it wasn't funny. But believe me that all those his correction made me believe in myself that I could get certain jobs or opportunities because he corrected
Maybe
me.
at that moment.
Yes, and as for anyone in university or someone that has gone through the four walls of schools and carried out project or researches, you know that you're going to give back after any correction is made. You have to what submit,
The,
effect your correction
and
and submit
submit.
it. So the pain, first of all, of going back and forth, it's not funny. There is a part where you can say, in short, I'm not doing this
Like
thing. Yes, that's the truth. You tell yourself, I'm not doing this thing, I'm going to delay it in such a way or something. But at the end of the day, it won't profit you. That's one part. But the truth is that going back with his critique, and will I say his critique
mm.
on my work made me better research wise, and it made me have confidence in myself.
Okay.
Then I'm in the choir. I remember when I started singing, I'm not I'm not where I let's say I'm not where I want to be
Okay.
music wise, but I thank God for the journey thus far. But I remember when I started singing, my early years of singing, there was someone that took it upon himself, like an older uncle,
Mm.
that told me at every time I sing, he said, you did well today, but look out for this particular thing. And the truth is that when the next time I'm to minister, I will try to implement all those corrections
He asked.
yes, he made. And I remember one time, like years later, I told him, I said, you no longer tell me the areas that I need to improve on. And he told me that that's because you're doing better. I've seen being criticized constructively.
Mm.
What I've seen it pay in certain areas of my life. However, there's something I want to say. So that you feel like it's only constructive criticism that I've received. Is this when I say probably because of the nature of what I do,
Mm.
there are people that you give out their work to, and the way they would their feedback, they would want to you ask yourself, is this thing really worth doing? But I feel most times, apart from constructive criticism being a
Yeah.
push, destructive criticism too has a way of motivating you
Yes.
and telling you that, see, this is not the best of me, and this is not the testimony people will have of me. So you push yourself to do better. It's all about perspective, how you see things. So just to digress, having what a growth mindset
Yep.
or a limiting mindset.
Mindset.
What is thrown at you, how do you take
Receive.
it? How do you receive it? And what do you use it for? Thank you.
All right. Now, I think where we are talking about criticism, we have the emotional aspect of it. That's emotional response. Now, there is no way you talk about criticism and you won't talk the emotional aspect of it. There are some persons that immediately you start criticizing them, they will start saying, they will have this mindset that this person don't like me, this person don't do like this. Is it because I am like this? Is it because I am like this? Most especially in football, there are some players that you criticize, they will say because he's a black man, is you see. So that is why I am talking about the emotional aspect of it. So now I want to ask, how do you stop yourself from reacting of defensively when someone criticizes you?
Firstly, I must say that it's normal to want to be defensive when you
Okay.
are spoken to or when you're being criticized,
Okay.
because your self-esteem is attacked at that point in time. So it's normal for you to want to respond defensively. But is that the right action to take? No.
In this case, I think um this particular this particular question is on selected few. There are some persons that will do some certain things. I immediately like, okay, let me just give an example. During the 5 nights of glory, remember Papa David Biome spoke about Opobo people and their one-time cultural stuff. He was talking about the experiences he had while he was still as a being like in the world, and said this thing is not good. People that are from there did not take the positive aspect of it, but they started fighting back that this is our culture, this is this is that. But those that are Christians there already accepted what he said, giving this insight that he's not looking about, he did not come out to defend himself that this is what I want to do, this is why I said this is why I said this. The message is already passed. It's for you to make the decision if it is for your own betterment or for the betterment of him that gives the message. So that is why I am looking at this particular question on how the area that I think I I understand it. So
Sorry, if based on what you said now, I think you're trying to talk about emotions, right?
hmm,
Emotions associated with being criticized.
okay,
The example you gave, you mentioned people being angry
because of what he said.
because of what he said. It's normal for someone to get angry when criticized. It's normal for someone to feel hurt when criticized. It's normal for someone to doubt, or let's say maybe normal is too strong, but
Coming out to defend that particular cultural stuff. That is why I
yes, no, I'm just trying to talk about the range of emotions
okay,
people might feel
okay,
when something they do is being criticized. So there there is a plethora of emotions that might be expressed when someone is being criticized.
hmm,
However, how you manage it is what matters.
okay,
Because there are people that are being criticized, and the next thing there is a fight. Are
sure,
you aware?
sure,
The next thing there is let's say a generational conflict. This family and this family
family,
shouldn't do this, they shouldn't pass the same road, or this person and this person they start what giving, instead of giving inheritance, like
hmm,
good inheritance like property, money, they'll be giving what and enemies, they'll be
hmm,
saying inherit this thing because inherit my enemy because this person did something like that. So it's because of how that criticism was being managed. And the emotion first, the first part is the emotion that was fueled at that point in time and how it was being managed.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I have another question. I want to ask. How do you stay confident in your choice while listening to criticism? How do you stay confident in your choice?
How you stay confident in, or rather, how I stay confident in my choice despite being criticized. The first thing I would say is knowing the reason
Okay,
why I did a particular thing.
okay.
I remember, let's say, a phrase that always stood out for me is that actions and intentions are not always interpreted
Hmm,
as same.
sure.
Let me explain this. For instance, I'm doing something because I don't have the best example yet, but I'm doing something because I love someone, because I love somebody. So I want to help the person. And probably that person doesn't really need that kind of help.
Hmm,
I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from.
yes,
But to me, that's the best way, or that's the way I feel
you can
that
help.
I can help. Now, the person might say, oh, this person is not helpful because that's not the kind of help the person
Once.
wants. So that's my good intention, or that action that was born out of a good intention is being what misinterpreted. So that my action is judged what negatively.
Negative.
Now bringing it back home to your question of how to stay confident despite being criticized is
Hmm,
to understand why. I believe for every action, there's there should be a strong reason why you're carrying out that
that
particular
particular action.
action,
Sure.
why you are doing that particular thing. As a leader, there are things or decisions that you will make that you're making from a standpoint after weighing certain, will I say, certain views,
Hmm,
or after weighing certain matters.
opinions. And,
Yes. After weighing certain matters, you say, okay, this for me, this is the best thing to do. However, people on the other side might be seeing it what differently.
definitely.
And the truth is that it doesn't make them right, it doesn't make them wrong. Just like someone that is standing on an opposite side might see 6
Mm.
as 9. I don't know if you've seen that picture, that
Yes,
graphic.
yes.
Someone standing
Just
here, yes, is seeing 6, but the other person is seeing
seen it 9.
9. So that is why being confident. Imagine if, for instance, the person saying 6, he said, "Oh, it is 6, it is 6," and the person seeing 9, he said, "It is 9, it is 9." You are right for saying 6, because that is from your
What
perspective,
is
it is 6. But for the person that is saying 9, from his or her perspective,
it
it
is
is
9?
what? 9. But now when you're confident that because of where I stand and because of what I did, this is why it is what? 6. You know why. You are certain that this is the reason why I'm still standing on my ground, that it is what? It is 6. So when you're being criticized, or rather, how to stay confident is to always know what? Your why. The purpose why you carried out a particular action. And just to add, because of this particular question is, let's say dicey now. Criticism, or yeah, criticisms are people's opinion.
Okay.
They are
Yes,
not
yes,
facts. They are
yes.
what people think. They are what people see. They are not things that should be stamped. So even after being criticized and you're being confident, it doesn't hurt for you to go back
Mm.
and reflect on it and say, okay, why did this person say what he or she, or why did this person say what he said, or why did she say what she said?
Mm.
And that's the it still takes us back to reflection, self-reflection.
Reflection.
Okay. I hope I've answered that.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Also, I have, how do you separate what others think of you from who you really are?
Okay. I think I answered that in the previous question, knowing that what people think of you are their opinions,
Mm.
not facts.
Okay.
Yes. Separate them. What they are saying about you is not your reality. That's what they think. That's what they feel. And like,
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can give um, a real life experiences. I don't know if you can give a real life experiences on this particular question.
okay, how to separate the question again.
I said, how do you separate what others think of you from who you are?
Okay, I will end up drawing my face into this. And
Oh,
thank God it's a faith-based
question.
podcast. Okay, so how I separate it is that there is, or rather, there are lots of things that God has said about me in His Word.
Okay.
There are lots of promises God has written about me in His Word. So when someone comes and tell me that I'm a failure, I know that's a lie. I know that that is a lie. That's not what God said about me. Bible says I'm the head and not the tail. So did I fail at something? Yes. But that is not my reality. That is not the consistency of
Um,
my reality. It might be for a moment I failed at something. It doesn't make me what? A perpetual. It doesn't mean I'm a failure.
mm.
Because when you say someone is a failure, it means that that person is perpetually a failure. Consistently, constantly, the person fails.
Okay.
So I have to bring this for people watching. First off, be rooted in who God says
You are.
you are. That's the best way you can separate yourself from what the negative things people say. And let me tell you, surround yourself. The Bible says that evil communication corrupts
That's
good
good manner.
manners. Your association matters. There are people who are in the midst of people that never see anything good
Good.
about them. You dey craze, you dey mad. Consistently, that's what they hear. Somehow, whether you like it or not, it will start what affecting you. It might even start becoming your reality. So another way you can help yourself, talking about separation,
Mm.
is who do you surround yourself with? Who are the people you surround yourself with? That's the way, because there are times, why I'm saying this now is that there are times when you must have heard things, negative things about you,
Yes.
and it might seem like it's true. But you need people who can speak life to you and tell you that, see, this might be the this might be what is happening at this point in time. This might be a flaw. This might be your weakness. This is something you need to work on. But because of the manner with which it was presented, you might feel that that is your reality. That is who you are.
Okay.
Especially when you're given what a destructive, when you're criticized destructively.
Constructively.
Okay, when your image, when your personality, when your character is being damaged, you understand. There are times when you need to separate yourself and go to people that speak life to you, people that will tell you that, see, this might be true, not about your character, not about you as a person, but these are areas you need to work on. But regardless, you are an amazing person. Regardless, you're going to win. Regardless, you can be the best of best. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the way you can separate yourself, apart from having that identity, knowing who you are in God.
Mm.
And for you to know who you are in God, you have to spend time in the study of the word
God.
and in prayer, as well as association. And I think that's what brought me to association, fellowshipping with the believers and having a strong, godly, and positive association, relationships with people. Thank you.
Okay, madam, I want to. These questions is being directed now to our personal lives. So I want to ask, when being criticized, have you ever maintained your identity that no matter how I am being criticized about this, this is who I am? Have you ever maintained the identity when being criticized? In what way?
Okay.
Because why I'm asking this, you said you are in the choir and at once before senior colleague in the choir said, this is where you need to, in as much as you too, you know that you have these deficiencies. Did you like, no, I am good in this particular place, like maintain your identity that this is who I am?
Okay. I won't call that identity per se. I'll call that niching. That is narrowing yourself down to a particular aspect.
Okay.
I think this week I saw a video, but I've not watched it. More like a podcast as well.
Mm.
I love talk shows. I love watching talk shows. And the person said that you're doing yourself a disservice when you niche. That's when you narrow yourself to a
A particular.
particular thing,
Okay.
a particular point. However, I see things, or like I'm learning to see things from both sides. There is a positive side of niching
Okay.
because you have full concentration in that particular thing.
Okay.
However, there are times you need to, let's say, spread out, open yourself for growth, because the truth is, in life, it's not always you will have opportunity in that area you've niched down. I don't know if you understand.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
not always you will have opportunities, not always, but it doesn't mean that it's not possible. There are times where you have a lot of opportunities in that area that you've narrowed down, that you built your focus.
Mm.
However, when you, even after narrowing down and you are still open to growth in diverse areas or diverse fields, when opportunities come, you can still what? You can still show up. than just being too focused.
Okay.
However, there's a negative side. Some people say that when let's say you have a lesser focus, that means you are into several things. You can't give what so much attention to them. It's just like saying jack of all trades, master of none. But I remember hearing jack of all trades, master of none, or rather master of
Of
all.
all.
So it's all about personality and having a growth mindset. But something I still think is that you get to a point where there are certain aspects of your life or certain aspects of things you do that you will be way better,
Mm.
way competent, way, let's say, professional than other aspects.
Okay. I I want to point these questions direct to you now, and I would like you to give a real life experience, because I think whatever we are saying now, we must have faced it in one or other ways. I want to ask: have you ever adjusted something after feedback and still stayed true to yourself? In my own aspect, I have this experience while I was in level 300 in school. In level 300, there is this particular course, research methodology. So then we are grouped into different groups, like from your matriculation number to so matriculation. They would say you people will handle chapter one, so matriculation. So we happen to fall on chapter three. So while we were waiting for our day to do the presentation, the lecturer is already making correction on this is how you are supposed to do, this is how you are supposed to do. Chapter one, from chapter one to chapter two. So on our day of making our own defense, since we've already seen the correction, and you know how group work is, you will contribute to bind this thing, all of those things, and I became the group leader. So I was so convinced that this particular thing, this is how, and students have this mentality that immediately they have sent money for any of these things, you must do it the way they like. So we had two jobs. We had two jobs. We are in one group, but we had two jobs. What we did is that we presented the one I superheaded first to see if the lecturer will make any correction. I was so convinced, and I told them that no matter what, okay, I added one or two things they said into our work. So I think we did about the literature review, that is chapter 3 from that angle. So I was so convinced with what we did that day, and when the lecturer checked, he said, this is where you went wrong. This is where you went wrong. And he asked of our research engine, where did we get this information and all of those things. So when you are being convinced about something, you just hold on to what you are convinced on and what you are assured of before you can take all of those little things they will say in adding to your point.
Okay, so I just remembered an example.
Mm.
So I I need a group in church. I need a group in church, and as a leader, you have to make certain decisions. And I remember people, I've forgotten the program now. That's just the thing. I can't really remember most experiences, but I'm trying to.
See now, youth,
Yes,
youth, youth.
yes, I live in church, and I can't pinpoint one, but yes, there are times when I have been criticized, but because I know the reason why I'm doing something, or the escort we decided
Mm.
and we okay, said this is the reason, this is what we are going to do. You understand? You have to stick with it regardless of what people say. However, it doesn't mean that when you're being criticized, you shouldn't sit
Okay.
with what you're being criticized.
Decide on.
Yes, because sometimes, not every time, there could be an iota of truth
Truth.
and information you need. So when you sit with it, you know what you can implement and what you can discard. So there's a part. where you need to actually think with it. Don't just throw
Okay.
it away.
I want to ask again. Has criticism made your mindset grow?
Criticism made me grow.
Okay.
Mindset has it changed my perspective or certainly any constructive criticism is aimed at growth, is aimed at improvement.
Mm.
So yes, like the stories I shared, they have actually made me better, and it has criticism has actually or have actually helped me grow.
Okay. How can criticism turn into motivation instead of discouragement?
How can criticism turn into
Motivation
motivation
instead of
instead of
discouragement.
discouragement? First things first, separate yourself from the criticism.
Okay.
Separate yourself from the words being spoken.
Okay.
Separate yourself from the tone the person used in passing the message. That's the first step
Okay.
on how you can turn criticism into motivation. Then self reflection. Think about it. Why did this person say this thing? Is it that I'm saying it from another perspective? What areas did I not cover? Yes, let's say a proverb my family members do for that the person playing a game
Mm.
most times do not know the opportunities that are present within that game. But the spectator that has a wider view or a broader view
Mm.
is seeing the areas where, will I say, team A and team B, all the opportunities they have.
Mm.
But the people on that field, the people in that game, the people playing at that point, they have what limited
Okay.
vision. They have a limited perspective. So it's for you to what self-reflect. And there's something I also need to add. Be open-minded.
Okay.
Be open-minded. And I think I can tie this be open-minded to separate whatever has been said from whom you are, from who you are. Because once you say every time, this person is criticizing me, you won't even want to listen. You want to listen to whatever that
Person
person
is saying I don't
is
know.
saying at the moment, even when there are opportunities, like even when there are growth opportunities in what that person in that criticism. So be open minded.
Is there any specific strategy one can use to grow from feedback without losing your self-esteem?
Okay. I will still tie to what I said earlier. Separate it. Know that they are opinions, not facts. That means they are not always true. Till a thing is proven, it's not a fact.
Okay.
How can it be proven? Through observation, through research, and what else? I don't remember. But observation, research, that are some of the ways that facts
In like
are
minds.
being are being proven. So till a thing is proven, it's what an opinion.
Okay.
So take it as what an opinion. Till you sit with it, till you do business with it and ask yourself after observing, like observing certain traits or certain actions you carried out over time. You want to put there's an anchor of truth in what this person said about me. Okay? Or certain people, especially people that love you. Yeah. I don't know if you have people that actually when you do something, they are not there to castigate you or bring you down.
Mm.
They are just there telling you that you would have done better. See, oh, you did this thing, but there are rooms for growth. There are rooms for growth. Okay.
Mm.
So having people, mentors, coaches, friends that would always tell you you tried but you can do better. And now when you're being criticized, you can go to them. What do you think? I'm talking about young people now.
Mm.
What do you think about this thing? Someone said this. Do you think? And if you have people, your parents too, your siblings, your older siblings, or even younger siblings, you can, after having a talk with them, you can say, "Look, probably I need to work on this." There's an item of truth in what that person outside told you. Then there's I have I mentioned being open minded.
Yes, yes, you did.
Okay, so take it as opinions, yeah, not facts. So you know that okay, it's proven beyond the individual that then have a growth mindset.
Okay.
Don't be too fixed in your ways. Don't be too fixed in your perspective. This is how it must be. This is how it has always been. This is how it should be for the rest of my life and eternity. So have a good mindset. Be open to learning. Be someone that is willing to learn. I discovered the scripture on buying, but it's not KJV. It
Mm.
should be another translation. Buy knowledge. So go for knowledge. Go for knowledge. That's the way you can help, like to grow, to let's say to use the feedback you've gotten or the criticism you've received to grow them into positive feedback and have a solid, if possible, build yourself career wise, academic wise, just build yourself and spend time with God in the place of prayer and the study of the word because the truth is that almost everything we feel God does not.
See.
God does not.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much, our guests, for the insight given to our viewers. This is where we come to at the end of this particular episode. Thank you so much for joining us. See you in our next series. Also, too, I want to keep reminding you, we are open for sponsorship and partnership. Brand advertisement, we are still open. You see the number on your screen. Please call, comment, and drop a message for us in our DM. Thank you very much.
Thank you.